Hey guys, welcome back. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. How are my Premiere people? Thanks for being here. Again, thanks to everyone else that is watching later on. If you can make it, I highly suggest doing so. We're having a blast in the chat here. Right, guys? You guys having fun? I am. Let me test something really quick. Can we maybe make it rain J-boy and J-girl emotes in the chat real quick? I'd just like to see how that looks. All right, good job. Good job. Very nice. Very, very nice. We shouldn't have to worry about the head carabooner this week, as Jenny has them all in custody. She promised me that she would be on for this one, but seems to be running a bit late. Do make sure, as always, make sure you join the Discord. If you've joined already, leave and join again. And then make sure that you post your little drinks in the Premiere Beers channel. That should be open. It opens up for the premieres. When the premiere's happening in around that time, the channel's unlocked. It's free game. There's no chatting in there. Don't you dare chat. Don't do it. You can post a beverage of your choosing. No, it does not have to be beer. No, it does not have to be of the alcoholic variety. Post what you want to post. If you want to post milk, you can post a glass of milk if you need to. Right after this premiere, you should be automatically redirected to the live monthly podcast with Poke Knowledge, Cool Trainer Ryan, and myself. That should be a blast. Usually is. So stick around for that. You don't even do anything. You know what? Don't touch anything. You're fine. If you're watching this right now and it's the live premiere, just buckle up. Just buckle up. Today we're going to be covering a new scammeroni, Binh Nguyen, who has apparently been rewrapping WOTC boxes. I know, right? Boo, boo. We're going to cover that before getting into a little oopsy-doopsy update with last night's PWCC auction. It looks like they're not getting any better at what they do, avoiding all the sketchy stuff. So we're going to take a look at that too. Graded card of the week is brought to you by CGC. Well, I guess actually it's kind of brought to you by The Giving Bulbasaur, who posted this on TikTok. And then it was sent to me by Dime Card. So thanks to both of them. Let's take a quick look at that. We're not going to play the audio because it's that like oh no song that's probably definitely copyright material. But as you can see here, shuffling through the old CGC return, and oopsie-doopsie case is not even sealed. Great. I get a lot of people that say, hey, yeah, but it protects my cards super duper ultra. I can tell you right now that has never happened to me with a top loader, a binder, a card saver, anything. I've never had a card like fall at the bottom of anything that holds cards. But yeah, to each their own. If you want to grade your cards to protect them, by all means. Just hope that it's not the one that's falling out the bottom. All right, quick recap of what's going on recently on the channel. As always, crappy Pokemon openings once a day, every day, all day. Forgive me for those. But we got a couple boxes. We got more boxes coming of Dark Phantasma. Pretty cool to be opening some Japanese cards. I'm not sold. I can't do it. There's too many English cards to collect that are on my wish list for my master sets that I can't reach over into that side of things. But we are going to open some on the channel. A very good time doing that with the gang. Check those videos out if you haven't already. We had the Pokemon collaboration with the Munch, a retrospective. That was a pretty cool video. Another Pokemon.com article. A very cool site that is being developed for the history of a lot of the trading card events and promos and trophy cards, everything that you could ever think of that no one knows anything about. There's a good chance that they are working on that. We'll be doing some more of those videos as well. It's pretty cool to read through, to take a look. I'm learning things. You're probably learning things. I think everyone can learn something from those. It's there's a lot of expertise that goes into them, a lot of work that goes into them, blood, sweat, and tears. So you gotta like that. You gotta appreciate that. Even if you don't collect the Japanese exclusive promos, trophy cards, or whatever, it's cool to know the history of the TCG. Then we got unpopular opinions in Pokemon episode 34. We're almost caught up on the thread itself. Thread is still going. I think it's dying down a little bit. So if you need to get your unpopular opinions in, do it before we finish off the series someday, soon, probably, maybe. Who knows? Then we have covering the CGC article about the counterfeit card alert and ghost stamp error Pikachu. They seem to forget or didn't want to mention the fact that was Arjun Dillon, the fake stamper that we've already covered on this channel for quite some time now. Still working on that. Still working on the J-Boys with the fake case. None of it's going anywhere, but again, it's painful and grueling work at this point in terms of like putting everything together and waiting for new details and new things to arise. It's not the most glamorous or exciting part, but definitely got to finish up with that stuff. And when there are updates, when there are enough updates for Friday videos, and it makes sense to do so, we're going to be doing so. So make sure you're tuned in every Friday, same time, premiere time. I'll be here, I promise. Then the last video of the week, I had no intention of this being an hour-long video, but I went through and looked at all of the art and discussed a little bit what I liked, what I disliked on the 5-ban assortment of cards that are available. I know it's sort of a meme at this point that everyone hates on 5-ban, that it's like CG, stock art, whatever. But I thought I'd go through there and still like to see everyone pick out a couple cards that they really like from 5-ban and leave those in the comment section. So, all right, let's get into the main chunkaroni, the main meal of the video, the scammer. Little reminder for everyone, these videos are my opinion, my insignificant opinion, if you ask Jacob. So keep that in mind here. I'm doing what I can here with the information at hand. But yeah, I think this one's pretty cut and dry. We have a buyer who would like to remain anonymous. Obviously, this is a little bit on the embarrassing side. But the buyer, we're just going to refer to him as buyer, was in contact with veteran0wned on eBay, who had a listing for a PSA Charizard that they took off the platform and discussed on Instagram. They had no issues with the transaction. You definitely do not want to ask someone to take a transaction off of eBay. Obviously, eBay doesn't like that for what is probably obvious reasons, that they don't get a cut. They're not going to get fees if you go buy and sell on some other platform, and you can lose your eBay account in that way. So careful with that. You definitely don't want to be on eBay asking people in DMs to go off of eBay. You're asking for trouble. But yeah, the buyer later on from the same seller bought what was thought to be a sealed legendary collection booster box. So the owner of the veteran-owned account here, Mr. Binh, Nguyen, I'm probably butchering that last name. My apologies. He had a legendary collection booster box for sale. I'm blocking it a little bit, give you guys the full view. But yeah, legendary collection booster box. A month later, a veteran-owned slash Binh tried to sell a buyer some WOTC booster boxes and was informed by someone that they could be fakes. buyer was informed by someone that he was talking to and showed the picture to that the Binh's boxes weren't so real, or probably weren't so real. So when the buyer first contacted me, his attorney was going after the guy to hopefully get the funds back. Buyer was able to notice that the WOTC logos did not have registered R after the word coast, and the box was not the correct weight. I think that was like his determining factor here. So if you can take a look at the wrap there, we're missing the R. And no, we're not missing a pirate. We're missing the R on the logos.
Hey everyone, sorry I'm late, but I had to clean up the jail cell. Those carabooners sure do make a mess. So turns out I won't be able to be there in person, but I'll try my best to pop in every now and then and see what's going on and give Rattle a hand here.
So here we have the boxes that he was trying to sell a month after the Legendary Collection sale. In the photo here, you can give it a little scroll down, move my arm out of the way, check them out. I would hope that everyone notices some issues with these right away. I'll give you a minute. Well, as mentioned by buyer, there are no R for registered on the logos. Might be a little bit hard to see in the photo itself. But the size of the Wizards logos is wrong. The shape of the Wizards logos is wrong. Direction of the Wizards logos also very wrong. The frequency and spacing of the logos is wrong. The seam location is also wrong. It could be hard to tell in the photos, but the box damage versus the wrap damage does not match. That's a pretty telltale sign. Sometimes with bad photos, that can be a little bit hard to tell. But yeah, we have fake scuffs on the logos here in an attempt to make them look aged. At least they did that much. It's not like a beat to hell box that's got a brand new Wizards logos on it, but yeah, these are fake boys. If I've ever seen one, if I've ever seen a group of fake booster boxes or rewrapped booster boxes, this is definitely it.
Stick those bad boys next to some modern tins to make it look more legit. I haven't seen boxes this bad since I pulled my pants down in a hall of mirrors. LOL.
So yes, for all of you that are wondering, these are the very same fake wraps that we've seen before that are sold on Etsy. We've seen them before on the channel. If you notice anyone selling this shit, just let me know, and we'll make sure to take care of it with a video. Take a look at some real boxes here for comparison. Here is a real Legendary Collection box. This is going to come in handy, this photo or any other photos. And if you're looking up photos, if you do some research on this stuff, none of these boxes should have passed. Here's the real base set. The real, I don't know why I chose this picture with the most of the box missing. We have this one here. So interesting enough, the Wizards logos do like to go in the direction of the fake wraps from our boy here, from our boy Binh. For whatever reason, first edition Jungle, they like to go in that direction. I'm not saying they all do, but in Jungle Unlimited, we got them going this way now. And then last but not least, we have the Jungle First Edition. Again, if you look at the seam placement, if you look at the type of seam, if you look at the logos themselves, frequency, size, I mean, even the details that are missing, like the copyright R or the registered R, you're going to be in good shape. That's a good start. It doesn't mean you're off scot-free, but you're probably avoiding most of the scammers at that point. So there is a happy ending to this story, as long as the other boxes didn't escape or aren't already sold to somebody else or going to be sold to somebody else. But yeah, the buyer ended up getting all his money back and attorney fees paid for. So this is a good lesson on that end. Once the buyer had a process server out in California looking to serve summons, Binh reached back out to him to try to make things right. Surprise, surprise. You're not being avoided anymore. He's not ducking, diving, and dodging you. So buyer was suing for 3 times the damages, and as you would expect, got a pretty quick response from Binh. Binh was still claiming to not know it was fake, but information from his alternative Instagram account here, Polkadot, says otherwise. He had even blocked a buyer with this account. This is the account here, the Polkadot account. So this is a different account. This is one that he did not give to buyer, but buyer found out that this was his other Instagram account. Interesting stuff. So it looks a whole lot like our boy Binh didn't want buyer to know that this account existed, and I can only imagine why. You see here, we got lots of posts, like lots of ball dogger 69s. I'll see. We'll look at some specific posts later on, but I'll give you guys a quick gander here, and you tell me if there's anything that stands out. There are some items that were deleted, which is interesting. A very specific item at that. But yeah, we're getting towards the bottom here. Oops, I accidentally paused right there. And pausing a little bit right there. Oh, and right here. And we're almost there, guys. We're getting there. Oh, wait, we got to stop here for a second. Make sure we stop there. Then we'll scroll down a little bit more. And we're almost at the end. And he's got a lot of posts. That is a lot of flexing. And those are recent posts. It's wild. I guess if you post one card at a time and you spam those bad boys, here we go. We got the nice wheel of extra gamble factor. All right, I think we're good at this point. I think we hit everything that we needed to hit. But that's the end of it anyway. Weird that like knockout decks are right at the beginning, but that is what it is, and we're gonna take a look. This is some very important information here, and some stuff that will be very telling as we progress through the detailed story.
Shouldn't buyer have been watching Rattle Pokemon videos?
Whoa, we can't blame buyer. He's fairly new to the hobby, so it's not his fault that he hasn't watched enough of my videos. He started buying PSA 10 Charizards 6 months ago. Buyer did. While searching eBay, he saw a legendary collection non-holo Zard PSA 10 being sold by eBay handle veteran0wned. Man, this dude loves to put zeros in his usernames. Buyer sent veteran/Binh, whatever you want to call him, a message asking if he was on Instagram attempting to work a deal off eBay, as he was asking $3,500. Binh messaged buyer from his personal Instagram that we're looking at right now, Wardoc, which is WARD0OC, which is no longer active. So it's probably either deleted or it could, it's probably more likely that it's temporarily disabled. We've seen this when people want to hide their alternate accounts. Right, Jacob? Wink. They tried to work out a deal, but didn't end up happening. Binh ended up selling the card off eBay to someone for what buyer thinks is $3,200. They spoke a few times on Instagram after that. Binh tells buyer he was a Navy vet and is now an ER nurse, which turned out to be true. Binh claimed to be getting out of Pokemon and moving on to other things, which is probably definitely not true. He sent buyer photos of a few things that he had. A few weeks later, Binh sends buyer a DM telling him that he has another non-holo legendary collection Zard that came in, just happens to come in. This had a different cert number than the one they discussed originally and was a recent grade. They agreed on $3,100, PayPal friends and family, and shipped overnight.
Would not recommend. That's as risky as taking a bareback from Mr. Proxy and letting him spill his little drink in you.
There somehow ended up being no issues with that transaction. So from the hidden or secret or blocked Polkadot Instagram, it's pretty clear. The buyer found out that the getting out of Pokemon part was a lie. I'm just now noticing at the time of recording here that we have the scammer alert little category here. That's pretty cute. I don't know if you put yourself in there, but yeah.
As you pointed out on your channel here, if someone is lying about insignificant details, it's a bad sign.
Really, really strange for someone that is getting out of Pokemon to be running Pokemon raffles under your alternate Instagram account here, Polkadot, with underscores on both sides. So a few weeks go by, and Binh messages buyer and asks if he's interested in a legendary collection booster box, particularly the one on screen here, the one with the fake wrap on it, the re-wrap, fake wrap, crunch wrap supreme. The buyer knew they were going for around $50,000 and told Binh he wasn't a box guy. Binh comes back and asked if he would do $40,000, but buyer refused. He persisted with how it would look nice with buyer's collection on display. Binh even tried to entice buyer by showing that it had the Zard box topper inside by pressing down the top or the flap. We got an image of that. Don't worry, right here. How sweet is that? We got the Zard on top too. What a coincidence! And the buyer was still not interested.
Clearly red flags all around here when someone is trying to unload something to you that badly.
Binh ended up going down to $25,000 and bundled in 2 theme decks for an additional $3,000. So we got a grand total of $28,000. And Binh was going to record the packing and shipping process.
Binh is clearly taking advantage of someone who is new to the hobby and has a lot of disposable income.
The people buyer reached out to for advice prior to purchasing it also thought it was a legitimate box. Clearly asked the wrong people. You have to be really careful when this much money is involved. You really need to know your stuff. Buyer sends them the money and gets the goods. Without informing buyer, Binh puts a tamper-proof seal on the acrylic case that it's in.
Remember the additional layers put in place on the fake case? G.I. Joe cards, inside packs, inside fake booster boxes, inside fake wrap, inside fake case, sealed with fake stop tape, inside BBCE wrap.
Well, at least that BBCE wrap was real, though. But yeah, definitely an extra step taken by Binh to keep a buyer away from direct contact with the fake wrap. It's not going to have the same thickness and feel as the real thing. Maybe an attempt to make it harder for him to notice the small differences in the logos themselves. maybe damage differences between the wrap and the box. You could be hiding a number of things. It's definitely going to be harder to tell the more layers you put on something. So we do have some additional photos here of the fake resealed and fake wrap box. Take a look at it. Take a look through these real quick. And then if anyone wants to pause and take a look later on, test yourself, see if you can notice the differences. Feel free to do so. We do have a nice little video here that will play. My apologies if the sound is off or terrible, or if you hate hearing booster boxes smacked around, but we'll take a gander anyway. Beautiful. So this is where the other WOTC boxes come in. The ones that we looked at earlier in the summary. A month goes by and buyer is back in touch with Binh. Binh now all of a sudden has a storage unit, and a week later sends a picture of the WOTC boxes. The picture right here. These are the storage unit boxes.
Scammers do love to include storage units in their stories.
So Binh sends all sorts of random photos. Then this one particular photo of interest with the 4 WOTC booster boxes right up top here.
This storage unit has modern tins right alongside the vintage boxes. He's baiting?
Sure seems like it. So buyer says he might be interested in those boxes for the right price. Of course, this was the whole plan all along. On Binh's end, I'm sure. Once again, Binh keeps reducing his price. Again, another red flag. Luckily, buyer sends the photo to someone on Instagram who tells him that the boxes look fake. Buyer looks up photos and or videos of legitimate booster boxes and sees the logos are going in the wrong direction. Buyer questions Binh about them being fake and then realizes that his legendary collection box could be as well. Buyer takes it out and does some research to realize that the weight is wrong and that the WOTC logos are missing the registered R.
Same fake WOTC wrap on the legendary collection box as these newly found storage locker boxes. Okay, Binh.
Even better, Binh denied all along that he knew it was fake. Yet his Polkadot account had a lot of photos of legendary collection items. There was even a Charizard box topper that he removed from his page. Is it the box topper that's inside the box now? Yeah, it probably is. And then amongst other legendary collection items, just countless posts with legendary collection reverses. There's an abundance of them here. They're all in the Ultra Pro semi-rigid boys. I guess there's a mix of semi-rigids there. But yeah, probably maybe could have potentially been the reverses from that particular box that ended up being resealed. Your guess is as good as mine. That post didn't get deleted, but yeah, countless posts with the legendary collection cards. Did the cards come from the box? Probably. I'd like to know what's inside that box. It certainly isn't a legitimate seal on the box, so your guess is as good as mine. But my guess is there's probably like modern bulk or something in there, since he deals in that as well. That would be my guess. Binh asks buyer to return the box, and buyer asks for the address. This is after you're scared by the legal process that's about to ensue, and you're trying to get the box back. Buyer already had his address, but wanted to see which one he would provide.
Ooh, sneaky!
So, yeah, Binh has the nerve to ask for it back after radio silence until being sued. Buyer didn't send the box back, and good on him for keeping it. Who says Binh won't try to sell it to someone else? Who says he didn't or won't try to sell those other fake wrapped boxes? Binh claimed that he wanted it back to track down the guy who sold it to him. He didn't want it back previous to that, and now all of a sudden he wants it back now that he's in trouble with it.
Yeah, right!
So it turns out the theme decks are also resealed. The graded non-hollow Zard that was sold to buyer was likely the one that was supposed to be in the sealed theme deck that was sold to him, which is kind of sad. Buyer is going to send the theme decks to me, so we'll be inspecting those in a future video. It will be extremely interesting to see what's inside, so stay tuned for that update. If he does decide to open the resealed booster box, hopefully he will let us know what's in there, what's in the box. I'll gladly do it here on the channel if he so chooses, but again, it's up to him. It's his box now. Additional details and conclusions here. The Polkadot IG had both buyer and his wife blocked, but now unblocked. No explanation for the other Instagram or the blocks from our boy Binh. This is definitely a learning lesson for buyer and everyone else who is watching. Luckily, he got all his money back, but what if Binh or another scammer didn't have the money to refund? This could have ended up costing a lot of money in lawyer fees, as you guys can imagine. But it sounds like Binh got shafted by the fact that buyer was ready to dump money into those legal fees in order to F him back in the B. Alright, so it looks like we have another Trimmerino. Yes, we're back into the sports realm here, but I think it's important because us Pokemoners, we use PWCC, and it's good to know whether they're shady, not shady, what kind of shadiness they're shading. But yeah, we have another blowout cards forum post here. This one's a pretty juicy one. We have a trimmed PSA to a BVG that's like Beckett Vintage grading. Their BVG line. We have this Maradona, which is a very, very trimmeronied. All edges trimmed here. We can see it's the same card. It's got the same markings. Very, very interesting here. We had an auction back then. We had an auction back here. So it looks like it's been through the auction gauntlet. That seems to be the trend here for our trimmy boys. Everyone just kind of passes the buck. So this was not only is it trimmed, but the buyer 1972 soccer stickers left a neutral feedback for the sale, claiming that he never received the item and that eBay had to refund him. Note that it was coming from the U.S. coming to the U.S. from Italy. So bad enough that you're trimming these, but you're also false item not received claiming the item, then grading it, and now what kind of mess do you think we're getting in here? How do you think PWCC has anything to do with this now? Well, the time of recording here, we got this bad boy up for sale. It's at $17,000 right now. And do you think they're going to do anything about it? Probably not. Something that's clearly trimmed. Something that, again, a blowout is going to show you the origin. We can look all the way back to where it was purchased, where it was, there was a claim made that it wasn't received. The person altered it. They got it graded. It's been sold God knows how many times since then. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that, like, it's right in front of you. We even got a little video on this bad boy. Wow. Not to mention the fact that it's got another one of those stupid stickers, that MBA, and that definitely means something, because not only did Beckett not catch the fact that this was a trim boy, or at least they didn't want to catch that it was a trim boy, but also we got an extra style point sticker on here saying that it's double authentic. I think that's what it means. I don't know. You're paying extra money for stupid stickers on your slabs. The slab's stupid enough. Putting a sticker on it, even more dumb. Especially when we've seen multiple examples now of things that are clearly altered. There's even online records of it being altered. All MBA or Beckett would have to do is go on Blowout, take a look, type in the cert number, and they'd see oopsy-doopsy, trimmeroni. We should probably deactivate this. Oopsy-doopsy, we probably shouldn't put more stickers on it. Absolutely dumb. This is live right now, so I would imagine at the time of the premiere, this bad boy will sell. We'll have to see how much it sells for, who got shafted, and how much they're going to reshaft somebody else through another auction, because that's how the sports card world works, apparently. You trim stuff, you grade it, you sell it to somebody else, then people know that it's trimmed, and you got to sell it through an auction to someone else that's unsuspecting, I guess, or maybe people just don't care anymore. But yeah, this is dumb.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Are you guys ready for the live stream with Rattle, Cool Trainer Ryan, and Poker Knowledge? Stay tuned. Stick right there. Don't do anything. It should transfer you over right now.